Okay, good morning, students. Today topic is the first chapter. So the name is magnetic effects of electric current of electrical engineering and electronics devices subject. So that is E205C code. So that is our electrical engineering department second semester subject, and it is mainly we are going to discussing some definitions, okay, properties. So all are included in this topic, that is the magnetic effect of electric current. So in this topic, what are the main objectives are here? That is some definitions of magnetism, and what are the types of magnets we have, and what is the meaning of magnetic field lines or lines of force, and what is the meaning of magnetic field. We are going to learn in this topic or in this PPT. Okay. Before going to our strong objectives, what is the meaning of some uh, something about magnets, like our types of magnets. Okay, what is the meaning of electromagnet, and have you seen any magnets? Okay, so like this we are going to discuss. Uh, Mainly we are going to introducing our some topic is magnet. What is the meaning of magnet? Okay, introduction to our magnet, like our magnetite. So before 300 BC in Greece, a natural ore found known as magnesia. So nothing but we are find out some more natural ore which is known as magnesia. These magnesia normally exhibits some properties of attraction, or holding some small pieces of iron. This ore is now called as magnetite. So this is the picture of the magnetite. So this is a natural ore. So normally, what is the meaning of magnetite? So in this, Chinese discovered the peculiar ability of magnetite to point to north. The Chinese marines gave the name leading stone to the bits of the magnetite. The leading stone name was changed to the lodestone. Okay, now going to the magnetism. The phenomenon of attraction or of iron pieces by the magnet is called as magnetism. After that, what is the meaning of definition of magnet? So what are the substance which is going to be having some possess, which is having the power of attracting the pieces of iron, which is called as magnet. Okay, suppose we are taking some substance, that substance will having the property of attraction of the iron pieces, so which is normally we are calling as magnet. The points of maximum attraction are called magnetic poles. So where we have some points, so those points will having the maximum attractions, having some magnetic attraction, which are called as magnetic poles. Magnet has the two magnetic poles. One is north pole and another one is the south pole. So if a magnet is suspended, it comes to rest in the north to south line of direction. It comes to rest in the north to south line of direction. The magnetic pole that points north is called as north pole. Whatever the magnetic pole which is that points the south is called as south pole. Normally, we are going to suspend a magnet okay, by the needle. It's going to be rest in some position, that is like in the position of north to south of direction. Whatever the pole we have in the direction of magnet north is called as north pole, and what is the magnetic pole in the direction of south is called as south pole. Now, what is the meaning of properties of a magnet? Properties. So what are the properties of a magnet? Normally, the two poles of a magnet have equal strength. Okay, the poles of the magnet cannot be separated, and isolated poles does not exist. And like poles repel each other, and unlike poles attract each other. Okay, so these are the properties of a magnet. Okay, the main two poles of the magnet having equal strength in value, and the poles of the magnets cannot be separated, and isolated poles cannot be exist, and like poles are going to be repel each other, and unlike poles are going to be attract each other. So here we have a picture regarding the like poles and unlike poles. Suppose we are keeping the unlike poles nearer to each other, then there is a force of attraction between the two magnets. Suppose when we are keeping these like poles nearer to each other, in the picture we have C and D. Okay, those having the same poles nearer to each other, that's why both are going to be repel each other. Those two magnets are going to be repel each other. And after that, what are the types of magnets? Mainly types of magnets, natural magnets are there. Okay, natural magnets like the natural, they are existing the natural and larger. They are having the okay some, so depending upon the size and which are obtained from the mines. So these are and some, these are some different types of magnets. Now we are going to discuss about Earth as a magnet. So normally the Earth's magnetic field is similar to that of bar magnet field, which is 10 degrees from the spin axis of the Earth. So here, so what are the axis of the Earth we have? So normally this is filled 10 degrees from the spin axis of the spin axis of the our Earth. Each Earth in the geographical North Pole represents the magnetic South Pole, vice versa. Earth geographical North Pole going to be represents the South Pole and vice versa. And after that, magnetic poles of Earth. Normally, spin axis in the format. The geographical North Pole is a magnetic South Pole. Like so, this is South Pole, and on the downside we have the North Pole. Okay, Earth is showing as a magnet like here. So artificial magnets are temporary magnets. So these are which are magnetized and for a short time, so for a short time period of time, some short period of time. And permanent magnets are they keep the remain they keep magnetism remains for longer period also. So now types of temporary magnets. Temporary magnets are obtained with the flowing of electricity through the coil. Okay, and also with the having some arrangements of the this one like solenoid arrangements. So these are some temporary magnets. Okay, types of the permanent magnets. Permanent magnets are mainly bar magnets type. Here we have some bar magnet, which is consisting of the north and south poles on either side of the magnet, and circular magnet. So this is circular magnet is having the permanent poles on the okay, like a circular shape, and a horseshoe pole. Horseshoe magnet also is in the case of is in the shape of the shoe shape. Horseshoe like horseshoe, it is a shape, and it is mainly consisting of north and south pole. Okay, and a ball ended magnet also. We are taking the magnet which is consisting of the balls ends of the balls are ended balls are like in the shape of the ball, which is keep it at the end of the magnet. So now magnetism of a current carrying conductor. Now we are going to discuss. So this topic was is going to be explained by our Oersted, and this Oersted was simple uh, experiment which is understandable for us for knowing of the magnetism. So this phenomenon is normally discovered by the Oersted at a Copenhagen in 1820. So when a conductor carries the electric current, a magnetic field is produced around the conductor. So in like that in the picture. Okay. Now current conventions of a current carrying conductor. Suppose if the current is flowing towards us as supported by the normal visor, suppose current is flowing outward towards us. I think the current is coming out from the conductor or coming towards us. It is normally we are indicating by dot. Suppose the current is flowing away from us or into the conductor, we are indicating that current as cross mark. Okay, so suppose we have the current is coming out from the conductor or coming towards us, we are indicating the current direction as dot, and whatever the current is going towards the conductor or away from us, so we are indicating by cross mark. So now conventional direction of the lines of the force. So if the lines of force is passing towards us, as we are represented by as a dot, and flowing away from us, we are indicating by cross mark. So now we are going to discuss about Maxwell's corkscrew rule. So this corkscrew rule Okay, normally hold the corkscrew in the right hand, and it has to be turned in such a way that it may travel in the same direction as the current in the conductor. Okay, so the direction in which the fingers move shows the direction of the magnetic flux lines around the conductor as shown in the picture. Like our right hand thumb rule, so grip the conductor with the right hand with the thumb finger outstretched parallel to the conductor and pointing in the direction of the current, the fingers in the pointing the direction of flux. So simple thing here, next we are holding a current carrying conductor with our right hand. So now we are keeping indicating the thumb finger in the direction of the current, and other fingers are which are wrapped around the conductor who are going to indicate the direction of the magnetic flux lines. So now going for discussion about lines of force and magnetic field. Experiment which will show the magnetic lines. So now we are going to took some uh, uh, conceptual regarding our lines of force and magnetic field. So place a permanent magnet to on a table. Suppose we are placing a permanent magnet on a table. Cover it with a smooth white cardboard and sprinkle steel sprinklings uniformly over the seat. So now the filling set themselves in a curved stains between the poles. So the below picture conception of the magnetic lines of force. The stronger in the magnet, the greater the number of these magnetic lines of force. Okay. So here peel of a bar magnet mapped with iron peelings. Okay, mapped with iron peelings. Suppose here we hang the bar magnet which is normally filled with a iron peelings on the ends of the conductor and on the ends of the magnet. So this is some magnetic fields current in a wire, loop of a wire, and a solenoid, bar magnet, the earth. So the magnetic field sources are available in this pattern. Okay, those are like a bar magnet, the earth, the solenoid, loop of a nothing but circular coil, and normally current carrying conductor. So now this is the magnetic lines of force which are traveling from north to south pole in the department. Definitions: what is the meaning of magnetic lines of force? So magnetic lines of force, these are imaginary lines which are drawn, which are in the path which is traced by the unit north pole moved freely around a magnet. So this magnetic lines of force, those are imaginary lines which are drawn in the path which are traced by a unit north pole moved freely around a magnet. And this is some diagram or picture regarding our magnetic lines of force, which are okay. These are imaginary lines which are drawn in the path traveled by the north pole, which is moved freely around a magnet. So normally representing north to south directions. Now the direction of the magnetic field. So place a bar magnet rests on the table and place the three compass needles as indicated. Automatically the needles takes up the position such that their axis coincide with the corresponding chain of peelings. Their axis will coincide with the corresponding chain of peelings. Okay. Automatically their axis is now going to be coincide with the corresponding chain of the peelings. Now direction of the magnetic field. So the north poles are small, all are pointing along the line from the north pole of the magnet to its south pole, and the lines of fluxes are assumed to pass through the magnet and emerge from north to and return to the south pole. Normally, the lines of fluxes which are assumed to pass through the magnet emerge. They are emanating from the north pole and they are going back to the south pole. So after that, properties of lines of force. What are the main properties? Normally, these are always starting from the north pole and they are ended at south pole. So these are always formed closed loops and they are never intersecting to each other and behave like a stretched rubber bands, and which are unaffected by the non-magnetic materials. Okay, and go through the lines of force through the medium, like your yeah. So lines of force through the air. Suppose we have medium, they are traveling from like this in the south, north pole to south, reversing back like that. Magnetic field and magnetic flux. Definitions, we have some definitions for this topic. So normally magnetic field what are the region or space around a magnet in which we are going to be feel some force, felt experience some force, that we are calling as magnetic field. Magnetic flux lines. So these are the total number of magnetic lines of force which in a magnetic field is called as magnetic flux. So the total number of magnetic lines of force in a magnetic field which are called as magnetic flux. You know, the magnetic flux is normally measured in Webers, and 1 Weber is equal to 10 to the power of 8 lines of force. The number of lines of force per unit area is called as a magnetic flux lines flux density. And we normally, what I am saying here, the magnetic flux density means the number of flux lines per unit area is called as magnetic flux density. Normally it is measured in Weber per meter square or Tesla. Magnetic flux density is equal to magnetic flux lines per unit area. That is B is equal to 5 by A. So in this one, up to this one, we are discussed about some definitions regarding the magnetic magnetism, like magnetism, magnetic field, and magnetic flux lines, and magnetic flux density. So after this one, this session, okay, we have some summary. We need to remind, that is, what is the meaning of magnetism, types of magnets are there, what is the lines of force, the magnetic field. So the magnetite chemical formula is what here it is Fe3O4 or Fe3O2 or Fe3O4 or Fe44. So you can give some answer for this one. The magnetic flux is number measured in Weber. After that we are given some quiz question. The constant representation of inward current direction in a current carrying electron. Inward, nothing but plus. So these are some frequently asked questions are there. Those are what is the meaning of magnet and list the properties of magnet. So what is the types of magnets and properties of magnetic lines of force, and what are the magnetic field definitions and magnetic flux. Assignment for this one: map magnetic field for a bar magnet. Prepare a pair magnet. Okay, thank you for this one listening class. Okay, and after that we are going to discuss something about okay on this completion of the session. Again, we are going to discuss about field pattern of a current carrying conductor and literal direction of the lines of force, right hand thumb rule. Okay, this is the topic of field patterns of a long current carrying conductor. So, what are the main field patterns regarding the current carrying conductors? We are going to discuss here in this session. Okay, so for that one, these are the objectives we have. So that is field patterns of the current carrying conductors and what is the direction of the lines of force and right hand thumb rule. So recap, what we discussed in the previous session, that is regarding this topic, that is magnetic effect of electric current. Those are magnet and magnetism, and types of magnets and lines of force and magnetic field. So here some magnetic field directions already will learn, and already what is do you know about field patterns of current carrying conductors and the right hand thumb rule? No, but we need to learn what are the field patterns for a current carrying conductor. Suppose we are taking one straight current carrying conductor which is carrying current from top to downward side. So what is the field pattern? So when the current is electric current passes through a current wire conductor, a magnetic field will be established around the conductor. Okay. Now what is the magnetic field around a current carrying nothing but, so this is a compass needle we are keeping uh, on the both ends of the conductor. So now automatically the needle will deflect so in the direction of the north pole, and after that we are saying that here for this case the current is going downward, that's why the direction of the magnetic field is in a clockwise direction. After this one, okay, in the second figure, in the figure 3, we are going to see the pictures of the lines, magnetic field lines which are going in clockwise direction. So now we are going to discuss about Oersted experiment. Place a white cardboard around a current carrying conductor. Suppose we keep a white cardboard around a current carrying conductor, and we spray some iron fillings on the paper. All the iron fillings are expensive to some force and to make the circles around the conductor, and these circles are nothing but the magnetic field circles. So it is also proved that these circles from concentric circles form a concentric circles around the conductor. These circles together with arrows indicate the direction of the magnetic lines of force. These circles are more numerous and concentrated than indicating in the diagram. Okay, here Maxwell's corkscrew rule. So here we are going to identify the direction of the magnetic flux lines or field lines. Suppose we are holding the corkscrew in the right hand, and it has to be turned in such a way that it can be travel in the direction of the current. So the direction in which the fingers move shows the direction of the magnetic flux lines. And we are again going to discuss about the right hand thumb rule. So this right hand thumb rule is mainly used for finding the direction of the magnetic field around a magnet or around a conductor. So suppose grip the conductor with the right hand thumb, and with a thumb indicating this parallel to the conductor and pointing in the direction of the current, the fingers wrap around the conductor in the direction of the flux as per the figure. What are the fingers which are wrapping around the conductor? Those are indicating the direction of the flux lines. For suppose we are taking one electric conductor with our right hand thumb, with our right hand, by indicating thumb in the direction of the current, and remaining fingers in the wrapped in the wrapped around the conductor. The thumb finger indicates the direction of the electric current, and wrapping fingers indicate the direction of the magnetic field lines. Now going for indicating field directions. Okay, suppose we are going to current carrying in the conductor is represented by the I. Normally current is we are indicating by I, and the direction of the magnetic field is represented by the arrows and so on as circles. The direction of the magnetic field is represented by the arrows. The direction of the magnetic field lines we are going to represent by the lines, or those are going to indicate by some arrows here. So suppose current is going upward, the direction of the flux lines is in the anti-clockwise direction. Suppose the current is going downward direction, now the magnetic field direction is in the clockwise direction. So the direction of the magnetic field is represented by the arrows and so on as circles. Okay, current upwards, current downwards. So this is the directions. Current is going flowing outward direction, dot. Current is going inside, nothing but cross. Current into cross. So these are the field patterns. For the dot case, so the anti-clocks. For the cross clock. So now field due to two parallel current conductors. Field due to two parallel conductors. Suppose we having the lines representing the magnetic field, two parallel current carrying conductors in the same direction. Suppose current is carrying by the two conductors which are carrying current in opposite direction. Okay. Suppose the conductors are carrying the current in the opposite direction, then there is a portion of repulsion between them. For suppose then when the two conductors which are carrying the current in the same direction, then there is a force of attraction between them. So in this summary, we are going to discuss about field pattern of a current carrying conductor's right hand thumb rule and direction of lines of force. The magnetic lines of force are always concentric circles, and the direction of magnetic field is understood by the normally by using both A and B. direction of current and field. The thumb shows the thumb shows the current and finger shows the field. Okay, right. Okay, with this frequently asked questions are explanation of the right hand thumb rule, explanation of the Clark's rule, and draw and explain the field patterns of a current carrying connector. So with this we are having this one. So on this completion of this topic, so we have some objectives to how to learn. So here, so on completion of this session, we are going to know about field patterns of a solenoid and field pattern of a toroid. So what is the meaning of field pattern? Field pattern nothing but, so what is the field are formed around a magnet. So around a conductor or around a some solenoid and around a toroid, what is the field? How the field is going to be formed, in what direction, and how it can be going to be forming, or they are getting. So by the use of some current in the solenoid or toroid, so we are going to finding that field pattern, how the field is going to be arranged themselves by flowing some current in the circular things like conductor, like solenoid, and like toroid. So in this objective, in this session, we are going to discuss about field patterns of a solenoid and field pattern of a toroid. So before going to this discussion, so we are going to recapping previous topic, that is field patterns of a current carrying conductor. So current carrying conductors are we have the two types. One is going carrying current downward and then carrying current upward. So now we are discussing. We discussed about right hand thumb rule. Right hand thumb rule is mainly used to find out the direction of the magnetic field around a magnet or around a conductor. Okay, do you know about what is the meaning of solenoid and what is the meaning of toroid? Like that, we have to learn something. Now, this is the field patterns for current carrying conductor. Suppose we are gripping the conductor with our right hand, with the fingers up around the conductor with the direction of the thumb finger lies towards north pole of the magnetic lines of the poles established on the conductor. So field patterns of a solenoid. So inside the solenoid is winding is wired coil in a special way, as on figure 1-2. When you send an electric current through this wire, a magnetic field is created. Suppose we are giving some current to the direction. So current, so there is an inducing some field inside the coil, and when we are giving current in a reverse direction to this toroid, they are inducing current field which is going away from the coil. So what is the effect of magnetic field produced by the current in a solenoid? So the inner shaft of the solenoid is piston like a cylinder. The lower inner part, inner shaft of the solenoid is like a piston. Is a piston like a cylinder made of iron or steel, called the flunger or slung, equivalent to an armature. The magnetic field then applies a force to this flunger, either attracting or repelling it. When the magnetic field is turned off, the spring then returns the plunger to its original state. Okay, suppose when you are going to give we are turning off the magnetic field, automatically the flunger is going to get into original position. Okay, magnetic field of solenoid. The solenoid carries electric current symbolized by several little red shapers, red spheres, okay, in motion as shown in figure. A green arrow shows the direction of the magnetic field inside of the coil. So here, whatever the green line is there, green arrow is there, that the green arrow will indicate the direction of the magnetic field inside of the coil. Magnetic field of a solenoid. Magnetic field is in a solenoid. He is in the format. He is in this format. Okay, you can remember. Can you give an example of one device if you current pass through the coil? Okay, like solenoid. Okay, magnetic field strength in a air core and a iron core. An iron core has the effect of multiplying greatly the magnetic field of a solenoid compared to the air core solenoid on the left. Okay, iron core having the effect of multiplying greater number of the magnetic field strength. So for iron core, we have the magnetic field strength value is more as compared to the air core okay, solenoid. Now going for discussion about field pattern of a toroid. A toroid is a coil of insulated or enameled wire wound on a donut-shaped form made up of a powder iron. Toroids are used as inductors in electric circuits, especially at low frequencies where comparatively large inductances are necessary. Field patterns of a toroid. So a toroid has more inductance for a given number of the turns and as than the solenoid with a core of the same material and a smaller size and similar in size. This makes it is possible to construct high inductance coils of a reasonably physical size and mass. So toroidal coils of given inductance can carry more current than the solenoidal coils of similar size because the larger diameter wires can be used and the total amount of wires less, reducing the resistance. In a toroid, all the magnetic flux is contained in the core material only. Field pattern of a toroid in this topic. This is because core has more no ends from which magnetic flux may leak off. And for the core there is no, that's why there is no flux is going to be leakage. The confinement of the flux prevents external magnetic fields from affecting the behavior of the toroid and also prevents the magnetic field in the toroid from affecting other components in the circuit. Magnetic field of a toroid. So a toroidal coil carries a electric current symbolized by several little red spheres in a motion. A green arrows indicate the direction of the magnetic field inside of the toroid. Magnetic field in a toroid is shown a green path like a circular coil. Circular path. This is the magnetic field of a toroid. Upon the completion of the topic, the student has to be know about the field pattern of a toroid, field pattern of a solenoid. So the magnetic field strength of the solenoid is higher in air core than iron core. So the magnetic field strength of for any case iron core is more than air core. In a air core solenoid, by inserting iron core in place of air, the field strength will going to increase. For similar material, similar size for the same number of turns, the materials will be higher in toroid. So these are the frequently asked questions are there. That is, explain the construction of solenoid, explain the field pattern between the two parallel conductors carrying current in the same direction. So we discussed in this one. Okay, thank you for listening to the class. Okay, this topic we are going to in this PPT we are going to discuss about the expressions for the field strength on the axis of the circular conductor, expressions for the field strength at the center of the circular conductor, circular coil. So before going to this topic, we discussed in the previous session about field patterns of a solenoid and field pattern of a toroid. Okay, so in the case of the solenoid, the field pattern is like a straight line, but in the case of the toroid, the field pattern like a circular coil, a circular ring or circular coil. Now in this case we are going to discuss about the field strength on the axis of the circular conductor or coil. Okay, can you okay, from the Laplace laws and Biot-Savart's law used for finding the field strength near the systems of the conductors. Normally the Biot-Savart's law will give the mathematical expression like as dH is equal to I divided by 4 pi r square. So let us consider a single turn coil carrying current of 5 amperes. Okay, in the directions. From the magnetizing force is the axial point P can be founded from the Laplace laws. current through the singleton coil AB, circular coil, and what is the which is current as I amperes, and radius of the circular conductor is R, and the length of the small current carrying element of the circular coil is dl meters. Okay, now distance between the centers of the distance between the centers point of the current carrying coil and a point P. Okay, center point of the current carrying conductor and point P is X. The angle between triangle POA is theta. No, the Laplace law, Brat-Schwarz law, gives the magnetizing force between the current carrying element and point P is at a distance r is ideal sin theta by 4 pi r square. So we know sin theta is equal to r by under root of r square plus x square. Sin cube theta is equal to r cube by r square plus x square over positive by 2, and h is equal to getting as I by 2r into sin cube theta by sin cube theta. This is the h value. Therefore, the field strength of the axis of the circular current carrying conductor having single turn is H is equal to I by or 2R into sin cube theta. For n turns, we are taking H is equal to Ni by 2R into sin cube theta by theta, that is the ampere turns per meter. Now, field strength at the center of the coil. For the case of the field strength at the center of the coil, we are taking angle is theta, and theta is equal to 90, sin theta is equal to 1. That's why just we are putting the value in the above equation, that is h is equal to I by 2r into sin cube theta. So we are sin theta is equal to 1. That's why we are getting as for a single turn coil h is equal to I by 2r into I by 2r, that is value in terms of ampere turns per meter. For a coil having n turns, the magnetic field strength at the center of the coil, that is h is equal to Ni by 2r. Okay, summary here, the field strength of the axis of the circular current coil on the circular current carrying conductor, that is h is equal to I by 2r into sin cube theta for single turn. For n turn, h is equal to Ni by 2r into sin cube theta. So for the field strength at the center of the circular current carrying conductor, that is h is equal to I by 2r for single turn, and for n turn, that is h is equal to Ni by 2r. So these are some quiz questions for you. These are some frequently asked questions are there. So in the previous PPT, we discussed about the field strength on the axis of the circular current carrying conductor and at the center of the circular conductor. Now in this session, we are going to discuss about Work's law and the magnetic field strength and around a straight conductor, and know about the field strength at the point which is perpendicular to the axis of the conductor. Okay, now we are going to discuss about Work's law. So the statement is the net work done on R by a unit north pole in moving once around a closed path in a magnetic field is numerically equal to the ampere turns linked with the path. Mathematically, the Work's law can be expressed as integral of h in h over h suffix r into dr is equal to ni, where hr is the magnetizing force at a point distance of r meters and n is the number of turns of the conductor, and n is the number of conductors. If a unit north pole is placed in a magnetic field, it is experiencing a magnetizing force. A moving ENP in a magnetic field experiences a magnetizing force according to the Coulomb's law of magnetism. The magnetic force depends upon the field strength. If the ENP is moving in the opposition to the lines of force, then work is going to be done against the magnetic field. If the ENP is moved in the direction of the magnetic field, then work is done by moving a force by magnetizing force on whatever is restraining the movement of ENP. Let us consider n state conductors carrying current of I value amperes. The product n is called in ampere turns. The resultant field produced due to the Ni is shown in the clockwise direction. Now let us know ENP is moving once around a conductor, n conductors once as one figure. In this case, the work is done equal to the n by ni by moving the ENP exactly once around this path. For suppose in this case also the work is going to be done equal to ni by moving the ENP exactly once around this path. Case 3. In this case also work is going to be done is equal to the ni by moving the ENP exactly once around this path. Now consider another different case. In this case there is no work done because by moving the ENP exactly once around this path we don't have any work done. So in all the above three cases the path completely having by the closed by the ENP linked with the N connectors once. Hence the work is done in moving VNP once around a closed path equal to integral of h suffix r into dr is equal to ni. The work's law applies to no matter whatever the shape of the completed path. So in case 4, even though the path is traversed by the ENP is a completed path, but it does not link with any current carrying connectors. Hence, no work is done would be done in moving ENP exactly once around the closed path. Work's law is applicable to all magnetic fields, whatever their shape. The work's law can be used for obtaining the values of magnetizing force in nearer simple idealized circuits. So field strength around a state connector. The Laplace laws or Biot-Savart law is used for finding the field strength near the system of connectors. So Biot-Savart law normally gives the mathematical expressions like dh is equal to ideal sin theta by 4 pi r square. Let us consider a long straight connector is carrying current amperes as shown in the figure. Field strength at the point P, field strength at a point P perpendicular to the axis. Now we are going to find the field strength at a point P which is perpendicular to the axis of the coil. So consider a certain point P, the distance of x meters from the small element dl as shown in figure. According to the Laplace law, the amount of magnetizing force is produced by this dl at a point P is ideal sin theta by 4 pi x square, where x is the distance between the dl and the point P. Therefore, the field strength due to infinitely long current carrying at a point P is h is equal to I by 2 phi r. The above expressions can be same as the expression already discussed by using Oakes law. Summary. So we have some questions for you for understanding purpose. So these are frequent asked questions are there. Okay, go through these questions. So thank you for joining class.